Well, this Olympic boxing situation is very controversial. So if you guys haven't yet seen, there's huge outrage in the boxing world with an Olympic boxer in the women's boxing division, Imane Khelif, who's receiving huge backlash after an Italian woman she was facing quit the fight after 46 seconds, broke down to tears and left the ring. Later on, she stated that Imane was just too strong for her, she's never felt punches like that before, and it was a complete unfair advantage. And the people are going crazy saying a man shouldn't fight a woman, and yes, I completely agree, but here's the problem. Imane Khelif is not a biological man and is not a TS woman. There's going to be a lot of words I avoid using in this video so I don't get demonetized. But this situation actually gets really confusing in the sense of everyone is under the impression that Imane Khelif is TS, which is actually not the case. And I can see where this has got mixed up, but Imane Khelif was born as a biological woman with woman parts and everything else. However, what she does suffer from is a condition that have led people to believe that she is a TS, and that is a condition called DSD. So I don't want to get all sciencey on you, but when you're born, males are usually born with XX chromosomes and women are usually born with XY chromosomes. However, in this disorder, it means that you're a biological woman, but you're born with XX chromosomes, which essentially means you're a woman born with male chromosomes. Obviously, these male chromosomes can lead to other things like increased testosterone and in turn increased muscle growth, which we can clearly see when we look at Imane Khelif. Definitely looks a lot more manly without being offensive to other women. So to all the people online who are saying that a TS woman should not be competing against women, I agree. And let me just say this, I have no problem against that community. I have no hatred towards them. I just don't believe that a TS woman should be competing in the women's division, especially since boxing is such a dangerous sport and people are putting their health on the line for the fans' entertainment. So I don't think that should be played around with. However, this is not a situation of that, and this is genuinely a biological woman facing a biological woman. And I'm going to be honest, I think the Italian woman boxer maybe kind of overreacted a little bit, let's be honest, because it's not like Imane Khelif is a big puncher. I mean, she's had 38 wins and 6 of them have come from knockouts, and every other woman who's faced Imane Khelif has had no problem. And if you had such a problem with facing a man, then you shouldn't have got in the ring in the first place. But on the other hand, I do understand the frustration. If you're feeling man kind of power, as a woman, that's probably not too pleasant. However, this is not the first time this has happened. There was an Olympic champion runner who was champion for a couple of years who had the same disorder and also received a lot of hate and was eventually banned, which is a long controversy and is still going on today. Okay, so now we fully understand what the situation actually is, because I feel like a lot of people were confused. Let's discuss on what should have been done and what can be done in the future to prevent situations like this and all the backlash. Is this acceptable? Is it not? Well, I think it's important to mention that Imane Khelif was actually disqualified from the World Championships in 2023 and was banned from competing in them. However, when it came to the Olympics, they said they believe in fairness and not discriminating against anyone, and so have let Imane Khelif fight in the Olympics. Not to mention, at the time of recording this, she is in the semi-finals now and has basically secured herself a medal, which makes this even bigger. Okay, so quick update as I'm editing this video. Imane Khelif has literally just won the Olympic gold medal, which I'm not too surprised. And funnily enough, it was both of the women in question who were facing each other in the finals. And now all of a sudden, the situation is even more controversial than it was before. And so many more people are speaking on it. And there's actually a lot more support for Imane Khelif than there was before. And a lot of people are apologizing for misgendering her. But I'm sure there'll be a lot more talk on this topic since she's now officially won an Olympic gold medal. But just bear that in mind when watching the rest of this video. And let's jump right back into the vid. And while there's no denying that she definitely has a huge genetic advantage over these other women, is that not the case in other sports? Look at swimmers like Michael Phelps, who has all kind of weird joints, literally a body made for swimming that he genetically relies on. But is he a cheater? She's still a woman, but genetically has a huge advantage. And I don't think all the hate she's receiving online is very fair, since technically it's not her fault she was born this way. She was born a woman and made no choice to change that, and she's just someone who got into boxing and is competing at a high level. So yeah, all the hate she's receiving is pretty unfair. However, on the other note, I do understand the controversy, because realistically this is a bit of a weird situation. We literally have a woman with male chromosomes and thus male traits against biological women with women chromosomes and women traits. And I don't think that Imane Khelif should be able to compete. Look, I know it's unfair for her, but it's either ruin it for the rest of the women or ruin it for her. And I think she does need to be disqualified. Unfortunately, I understand that it's not her fault and that she can't control what she has, but it gives such an advantage to her and such a disadvantage to other women. If we look at the males division, if you have someone with increased testosterone, you are instantly banned. Why isn't it the same for women's boxing? Because here's the facts. She has increased testosterone compared to her competitors, which obviously gives her increased strength advantage and other athletic advantages. So in my opinion, that is a big unfair advantage, and any big unfair advantages in the sport should be taken away and should be banned. And like I said, I have no hate towards Imane Khelif. In fact, I feel quite sorry for her and the fact that she has to deal with this. But I feel like the sport has to stay fair. And although Imane isn't too much of a threat in the boxing world, what if in the future we get a woman who is basically the woman Mike Tyson, who is like a genetic monstrosity and starts beating the hell out of these women? And that could cause some serious problems. So to avoid it from getting to that level, I think we need to ban it for good. I don't think anyone will be mad particularly if they stop people with this disorder from competing, because there's another person in the Olympics, not to mention, who has the same exact thing.
Because they say I have advantage, in high testosterone. Of course I do have it, so what?
And it's also made it to the semi-finals, so one of them's guaranteed a medal. But I think the longer we keep accepting this, the worse it's gonna get until something fatal happens. We've had similar situations like this, and it just causes so much controversy in the sport. And I feel like either A, we can create a division for these types of fighters, or B, completely remove them from women's boxing. That's the best thing to do, unfortunately. And as sad as it is to kick out some fighters, sometimes it just needs to be done to keep the sport fair. Because if one of these kinds of fighters wins the Olympics, which is very possible right now, it's gonna be a huge controversy, even more controversial than it is right now. So look, shout out to Imane Khelif, did your thing, but hey, I think the Olympics should have the same stance as the World Championships. Need to be strict and pick up on these kind of advantages, because one of these women is going to get seriously hurt at some point, and that's going to be terrible. We don't want to see that, and I think we just erase it for good and avoid any problems. So that's my stance on it. I know this video might get some hate, but hey, it is what it is. Like I said, this is a hugely controversial topic, and let me clarify, I have no hate to anyone in the TS community or anyone born with these disorders, and I have no hate towards these boxers competing at the moment. So yeah, that's my stance on what should happen next. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload from me. Anyways, that'll be all. I'll catch you in the next one.